Fox Communities Credit Union. Get started today at foxcu.org. Veterans Plumbing, here to serve you. The Manitowoc Two Rivers YMCA for youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. Your local American Family Insurance agent, Mark Ryan, insurance designed with you in mind. And by John Foster of Creative Business Services. If you're looking to sell your business, trust John Foster. And now your host, John Foster. This is Just the Facts on WOMT.
And a good Wednesday, everybody. John Foster here, business broker John Foster. And my special guest today is Jason Weier with Weier Wealth Management, with offices in Manitowoc and the great city of Appleton. How you doing?
Good morning, John. I'm doing well, but I do want to make a correction here. I don't use a wallet, and I've never used a wallet before. This is my wallet, if you can see that.
Yeah, you're one of the guys that just, maybe with a rubber band, is that what you're using?
Yeah, something like that.
Is that what you do? You take 2 credit cards, your driver's license, and a little bit of cash?
Wrap it around there, and cash. I think today I have $8 today in cash. I'm not a cash guy.
Most people, I think, in that generation are not cash people.
What does that mean? A generation? Accusatory?
Well, you're the same age as many of my nieces and nephews, and they don't carry any cash either.
Okay,
so,
I think that's okay.
I do get angry at people who use cash sometimes when they're checking out, though, right?
I mean, at times, yeah, at times. It's maybe annoying, but we went to Mall of America, I think it was last year, and none of those stores accept cash anymore.
Wow, that's crazy, huh?
So, in case you're wondering.
Cashless.
Yes.
I was not wondering about it, but thank you for that. Thank you for that info bit. Jason, let's do your disclosure so we can talk more freely with each other, shall we?
Let's do that. Views and opinions presented in this episode are those of myself, Jason Weier, and not of Avantax Management and its subsidiary securities offered through Avantax Investment Services, member FINRA SIPC, investment advisory services offered through Avantax Advisory Services, insurance services offered through Avantax affiliated insurance agency. Weier Wealth Management is a separate entity from Avantax. Opinions voiced in this material are for general information only and not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations of any individual. All performance reference is historical and is no guarantee of future results. All investing involves risk, including the loss of principal. No strategy assures success or protects against loss. This is a hypothetical example and is not representative of any specific investment advice. Your results may vary.
And you have a really interesting fact of the day that we were talking about off air, Jason. Why don't you roll with that?
I think I have an interesting fact every time, but I'm glad you like this one.
Well, this one is exceptionally interesting.
Fidelity Investments reported that its number of 401k millionaires rose to 422,000 people at the end of 2023. And that's up from 299,000 at the end of 2022. For us, math people, that's a 40% increase. Fidelity's number of IRA millionaires rose as well. That's reaching a record of 391,600 accounts at the end of 2023. Fidelity noted that the total savings rate, which combines contributions from workers and the matching contributions from their employers, stood at 13.9% at the end of the year, and that's unchanged from the previous 2 quarters. So I think those 3 pieces of information is maybe eye-opening, maybe help us.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's just another example how, the steady investment strategy really is a good one, right?
Well, just staying invested, not being swayed by maybe your bias or your opinions or the concerns of the market or the economy. And this just basically, I think, concretes the idea of staying invested and not have an opinion of, should I get out? Should I try to be strategic in buying and selling things specifically, or just getting out all in cash?
It's absolutely so true. That's great advice.
Can I do one more?
Jason,
John, can I interrupt you? One more fact? Am I allowed to do 2 in one day?
I think so.
Since you love the first one.
I checked the rules, and yes, you can do it. You can do 2 in a day.
All right. This one is from the 2022 Retirement Confidence Survey, and it's from the Employee Benefit Research Institute. So again, Employee Benefit Research Institute, and it's the 2022 Retirement Confidence Survey. This one says that more than 60% of retirees get retirement planning information and advice from a source other than a financial professional.
Wow,
Let that sink
that's
in.
interesting.
Let that sink in.
I know.
That's majority of people get their advice from someone other than a financial professional. That's scary, but that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, that is a little bit scary. You're right about that.
Wondering who they're listening to. But moving on.
Well, bartender's always an interesting source.
Great feedback.
Right.
Yeah, you might be onto something.
Could be.
I thought maybe in-laws or co-workers, but yeah, bartenders all in the same category.
Yeah, same deal. Well, since our last time together, you've been kind of a busy guy. I've seen a lot of news headlines highlighting your firm. And last week I learned on the show that you actually brewed a beer at Pescal.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting bored with investments. It's kind of a stale market right now. Not much going on in the economy and the stock market. I thought, why not brew a beer, right?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you?
Have you heard of the name of it?
I did. I had a guest on the show last week, and we talked about it, and they had it, and they were very happy with it.
Weier's,
but I don't remember the name.
Okay, yeah. Weier's Private Stock. I think it was a great play on everything, so just my approach.
That's true. That's very crafty.
Yeah, see it?
That's really a great name. Weier's Private Stock. That's good. And so tell us how that all came about.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a strange connection with Big Brothers Big Sisters, PetSkull. Big Brothers Big Sisters had a fundraiser last year. PetSkull created and donated this package with the ability to craft your own beer. And obviously I couldn't pass that up, so made a bid on it, and I won. And they allowed me to Paul allowed me to give him some direction, and he brewed it.
That's cool. And what type of beer did you brew?
So it's a bourbon barrel aged ale. I don't know, do you drink that kind of beer, or is that not your style?
I mean, it's not my style, but I've occasionally I'll have a glass of these beers that are aged in bourbon barrels, and you can taste the bourbon and the beer, right?
Yeah, that's the part I like. It's a good balance. Maybe tying that into investments. It's a good balance of the bourbon and the beer together.
Good time with the investments. What's the alcohol percentage on that bad boy?
Yeah, that's a scary number. 8.7%. So pretty elevated.
It's elevated, like the returns of your investors.
Oh, well said, John. Thank you for that. Unscripted there.
But no, that's pretty cool. Hope it's going well. And I heard also that you wrote a book. You're an author.
Yeah, we've been slightly busy growing the practice, brewing beers, and then writing books. So that was an 18-month process of writing a book. That's all I can say.
Did you write the book yourself?
I did. I know. You're not the only person to ask me that. I'm not sure if that's a compliment or the way you phrase that. But yes, I did write it myself. It was an exhausting process. A lot of edits and redos, but we made it through.
So, just in general, what does the book talk about? Is it your investment strategy and philosophy? Is that basically it?
I guess you'll have to find out, John.
Oh,
no, I'm just kidding.
There you go.
It was just a big accomplishment for us. It's basically sharing our approach with the public and helping to encourage others on how to achieve financial security. So the steps we take, things that we look at. If you didn't know, I'm on Financial Health every Monday with Ian at WOMT. So we talk about financial health, and that's basically the tying in of finances and your personal health and how they intersect.
Very cool. So books and beer, that's a great combination. And I also saw that you donated some money to some local charities as well, right? Yeah,
we got involved this last year with the school system. So we did a donation to Lutheran High. If you didn't know this, Manitowoc Lincoln is celebrating their centennial celebration, so we donated to that. And then Roncalli, we are a sponsor of their fundraiser here in a few weeks. So a lot of education.
Yep, and that's part of what your business is all about, educating people in all kinds of ways, mostly financial and related education, I would say. But with that, well, Jason, we have to take our first break. And when we come back, we'll talk more with Jason Weier with Weier Wealth Management.
John Foster here with Creative Business Services. If you've been considering the sale of your business, now might be the right time. I know that thinking about such a big move can feel overwhelming, but instead of stopping yourself before you even get started, why not work with somebody who specializes in business sales and commercial real estate? I can answer all your questions and will guide you through the entire process. To learn more, call me, John Foster, at 920-242-3068 for a free confidential consultation.
Hi, this is Jason with Weier Wealth Management. This month we worked with Petskull to create our very own brew. I'm happy to announce Weier's private stock is now on tap at Petskull. It's a bourbon barrel ale with notes of toffee, oak, vanilla, and caramel. I really think you're going to love it. At Weier Wealth Management, we're here to support you and your financial strategy through every stage of life. Learn more at WeierWealthManagement.com.
Securities offered through Avantax Investment Services, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Avantax Advisor Services. Insurance services offered through Avantax Affiliate Insurance Agency.
As life changes, so may your insurance needs. It helps to have a local agent to help guide you through those stages. Contact me, Jason Ryan, sales specialist at the Mark Ryan Agency, 682-4659, for all of your insurance needs.
American Family Insurance.
American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, American Family Life Insurance Company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Let's forge ahead, constantly driving life forward in the Lakeshore area. At Holy Family Memorial, part of the Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, we're always advancing medical excellence and providing more ways to receive it, like more virtual options, so you have expert care for all your health needs, big and small. Let's push ahead and make life in the Lakeshore area as great as it can be. Visit hfmhealth.org to find out how.
And now back to John and Jason.
Well, thank you very much. Yes, indeed. We are with Jason Weier. Of course, he is an author, a brewmaster, and an investment guru, and a really nice guy. Jason, let's get a little bit into the nooks and crannies of investments. Let's talk about some of the ways investment advisors can add value. Right, this is a very important part of an investment advisor's role.
Have you heard of this math formula back in the day when you were in college or high school?
What is that?
Okay, it's A plus B plus C plus P plus T.
So that's a nomenclature that I never really ran across, Jason. You forgot about a lot of the letters in between when you go from A to T.
Well, it's the new math, John. I'm not sure if you heard of the new math.
Right. I got that.
All right. Yeah. Anyways, moving on. I'm just kidding.
Let's start out with what is A, B, C, P, and T?
Sure. A is annual rebalancing. So kind of, as you mentioned here, how do financial advisors add value? Why work with us? First formula, part of the formula is annual rebalancing. Next one is behavior mistakes. C is cost of basic investment only management. P is planning costs and ancillary services. And T is tax smart planning and investing.
Right.
You want to start at the beginning or jump around?
Well, let's start with annual rebalancing, because this is something that can be very painful for many of your clients, especially in good markets, right? Because as markets continue to do well, like over the past couple of years, if you had a investment portfolio, say 60% stocks, 40% bonds, probably after 2 years, those stocks have grown to maybe even 50-50 or something like that because of the great run that they've had. So it's time to rebalance, and that normally means selling some of your prized possessions and paying capital gains, right?
Exactly. It's a behavioral thing. So maybe we'll tie in two of these parts of the formula. But as you mentioned, if we think of rebalancing, what that practice means is that every quarter, every 6 months, or every year, some kind of systematic approach, we sell some parts and then buy a different part. And typically that's to retain your original allocation or to have a strategic allocation. So as you said, maybe it's a 50-50 portfolio, half bonds, half stocks. In the last couple of years, that 50-50 portfolio maybe grew to a 60-40. So 60% in stocks instead of 50 because of stock market performance. Well, what that means is that you're taking an elevated risk. You're taking more risk than you basically signed up for. So to get us back, we have to sell some of those good things and then buy some of the down-priced items. Kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah, typically you maybe sell some of the stocks in that case, right, and put them in fixed income products oftentimes, and maybe not all the time, right?
Yeah, I mean, fixed income is a portion. It's definitely an option for it. And it depends on how we classify fixed income. But yeah, it's the two basic categories of 60-40 is the bond market and then the stock market. And then there's different compositions of each of those. So the stock market is different parts and the fixed income is a portion of that bond market then.
So that annual rebalancing is the A, but then the B is the behavior part. And that B part does become kind of come into the fray because there is some behavioral issues related to rebalancing, and there's a lot of emotion and all that sort of stuff, right?
I like behavioral issues. Let's call it that going forward. The behavioral issues is the roadblock that many of us face. And maybe it's a bias that we have that we believe the market's going to go down because of, well, the presidential election maybe, or some other XYZ external factor. And it leads you then to make a strategy change and get out of the stock market. Well, my wife, Nicole, she teaches psychology, and it's hard to overcome those biases and use math or use the actual data-driven decisions instead.
Yeah, it's difficult to remove our thoughts or experiences from the past when we choose investments. And of course, I've read articles on how investors do the opposite oftentimes of what they should do in various stock market cycles. So it's important to have an investment advisor to sort of keep that B, the behavioral part of your nomenclature, in check, right?
Yeah, well said, well said. So that's the A and the B, so the diversification and the behavior behind it. And then if you recall C, do you remember what that's referring to?
I think you said cost of investment strategy.
There you go.
Something, right?
So these first three kind of tie in together. So the diversification, number one, the behavior, number two, but then investment, making the investment decisions then is that C. So the cost of investment management. So again, part of our jobs are creating that portfolio, constructing a portfolio, and deciding what mutual funds, what ETFs, what stocks to own, and then vice versa, which ones to sell, and then what bonds to own, and which ones maybe we shouldn't own. And as you mentioned before, there's other fixed income options that can comprise that part of the portfolio, but really constructing that portfolio is that C.
Absolutely, and reconstructing a portfolio really isn't the only job of a financial advisor, though, Jason.
Yeah, exactly it. I mean, I don't know if you've heard of the terminology of a robo-advisor lately.
I suppose that means a little bit of AI, right?
Exactly.
Looking at your investment portfolio, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you think of where technology is leading, is incorporating AI or robo-advice. I think it's too early to tell if that's good or bad. But again, that's not the only job of a financial advisor, is creating that portfolio and changing that portfolio. But it is part of it, just not the only item.
With that, let's take our final break. And when we come back, we'll talk more with Jason Weier with Weier Wealth Management.
Fox Communities Credit Union.
Make more money happen with a checking account that pays you more than ever before. That's Fox Rewards Checking from Fox Communities Credit Union. With Fox Rewards Checking, you'll have an account that checks all the boxes. No minimum balance and no monthly fee? Check. Pays you up to 5% on your first $5,000? Check. You could earn up to $250 every year. You can even get your paycheck up to 2 days faster. Is your bank doing that? Reward yourself and open a Fox Rewards checking account today at foxcu.org. Fox Communities Credit Union, helping you make life happen. Balances up to $5,000 earn 5% APY annual percentage yield. Balances over $5,000 earn 0.50% APY, resulting in a range from 0.50 to 5% APY. Restrictions apply. Visit foxcu.org for details. Membership required. Federally insured by NCUA.
Fox Communities Credit Union.
Are you a licensed plumber looking for a job? Hi, I'm Todd Blaschka.
And I'm Jeff Jackson, and together we are Veterans Plumbing. We're a local, veteran-owned plumbing company with over 40 years of combined experience, dedicated to serving our local community.
We offer our team members competitive wages plus paid insurance and retirement, and we're looking for people who share their dedication, service, and detail.
For a confidential interview, give us a call at 920-652-4660.
Veterans Plumbing, serving Manitowoc, Two Rivers, and the Lakeshore community.
Hey there, Lakeshore. This is your Y saying thank you to all of you who so generously support your Y's annual campaign. Thanks to you, we're signing kids up for a summer filled with learning, play, and healthy living. We're teaching kids that teamwork, perseverance, and kindness are the rules of all Y sports. And we're engaging teens in programs designed to develop young leaders and capable citizens. Your donation stays here on our Lakeshore, building strong kids from birth through young adulthood, and we thank you. Together, we're ensuring that our future looks bright. See you at the Y.
At Steinle Birschbach, we take pride in building attorney-client relationships based on trust, compatibility, and communication, and offering legal advice and services tailored to each client's individual needs. Hi, I'm attorney Riley Prince, and I focus my practice in both business and real estate law, and I would be honored to represent you or your business. With locations in both Manitowoc and Sheboygan, I can't wait to meet you. Steinle Birschbach, straight talk, solid advice.
And now back to Jason and John.
And we were talking with Jason Weier with Weier Wealth Management, and the next part of our nomenclature, sort of A, B, C, is P.
Yes.
And P stands for planning, right?
Planning costs and ancillary services as well. But yeah, planning and ancillary. So what does that entail is typically the normal go-to approach is retirement planning. So it starts there. It just doesn't end there, though.
Mm-hmm. What are some of the ancillary services that you might be referring to? I didn't know that. I know you do offer many ancillary services to your investment strategy, but maybe you'd like us to touch on what some of those are.
Sure. We look at the investment management, we look at the 401k rollovers, Roth IRAs, and then the other parts of that is the income planning. So when you do want to retire, what kind of income do you need? How do you plan to replace your income? So income planning, cash flow analysis, 401k investment option, those kind of reviews, and how to make decisions in your current 401k and where to allocate those, tax and estate planning considerations, and then college planning too. So pretty wide range.
Well, in addition to your life insurance, well, not your life insurance, but yeah, I mean your life insurance side of the business as well, right?
Yeah, so we didn't even touch on the insurance aspect of it, but yes, we work with independent brokers that have options with life insurance, disability, health insurance, and then everything down to home and car insurance, to even commercial insurance too. Yeah,
and obviously your clients have the ability to utilize all of those sort of, as you said, ancillary services when they work with Weier Wealth Management, right?
Yeah, I think a good way to think of it is that we're basically on demand. So when you reach out, we're basically always on call. It might be all these things, it might be some of these things, but long-term care, life insurance, health insurance, income planning. So whatever it comes to your mind as a client or even as the public, reach out to us. We're kind of like that first financial level, maybe like a financial director, to kind of give you some guidance on those aspects of your life.
And the sort of cool thing about all of that is that your clients don't pay anything extra for advice on, any of those ancillary items, right?
Exactly it. And that's the big distinguishing factor, is that being full service and being independent, we have access to all the largest companies in the nation, have it be investments, have it be insurance, or anything in between there. We have those relationships in-house already. And just to investigate those options doesn't cost you a thing.
Yeah, this is where a lot of people may underestimate what the role of Jason Weier with Weier Wealth Management really can do for somebody, because really any of those items are always available for a client, and they can basically just call you up and inquire about any one of those topics at any sort of point. And it's good for our listeners to remember that the cost you pay to work with an advisor like Jason gives you immediate access to a lot of these things. And of course, I can't speak more highly of the job that you do for your clients. I mean, education is such a big part of, I personally don't know of another investment advisor that does as much for their clients as you do. I mean, you just do an amazing job for your clients. I know a lot of people in town that utilize your services. You do just a wonderful job.
Well, thank you, John. I appreciate that. During the most of the years, I'd say 8 months out of the year, we do host monthly education events, and those are for clients, and the topics change every month then. So thank you for appreciating that and seeing that. But if we want to just jump into or end the session right now with the T, that's the tax smart investing. So keeping with the theme of taxes right now, the last one is T for tax smart investing. Definitely something we have to look at, but maybe even an overlooked benefit too.
Right. I mean, proper investing in a tax smart method, I think, is really one of the most critical things your clients probably, with my advice, not that it's worth anything like your advice, but tax planning is so critical to what a financial advisor should be giving to their clients, because it might mean the difference between retiring at 70 or 65, right?
Exactly. And what we talk with clients about is earning returns are important, but it's really about what you keep then. So earning is good, but what are you going to keep? And that's after taxes. So what are you actually netting, or what are you going to keep after returns? So how do we allocate investments? How do we make decisions on how to have some greater control on taxes and how to protect your investments from taxes or shield them in, of course, legal ways, John?
Of course, everything is above board here. And I know one thing, Jason, as we draw the show to a conclusion, the best investment you ever made in your life was your wife, Nicole. Okay?
Yeah, indeed, yes. Yes, if you want me to concur with that, yes. I don't know if she's on listening or she texts you that, but yes, indeed, 100% right.
Okay, great stuff, Jason. Thanks for being such a great source of information for our listeners. And to our listeners, we'll see you next week with another edition of Just the Facts.
Tune in again next week for an all-new episode of Just the Facts, hosted by John Foster of Creative Business Services.